Russia and China on Wednesday vetoed a U.S. push for the United Nations Security Council to act on the Israel-Hamas conflict by calling for pauses in fighting to allow humanitarian aid access, the protection of civilians and a stop to arming Hamas and other militants in the Gaza Strip. The United States put forward a draft resolution on Saturday as global outcry grew over a worsening humanitarian crisis and mounting civilian death toll in Gaza. It made the move just days after it vetoed a humanitarian-focused draft from Brazil, arguing more time was needed for U.S.-led diplomacy. This channel needs your help. Please subscribe. Thank you. The initial U.S. text shocked many diplomats with its bluntness in stating Israel has a right to defend itself and demanding Iran stop exporting arms to militant groups. It did not include a call for humanitarian pauses for aid access, but it largely toned down the final text that was put to the vote. We did listen to all of you, U.S. Ambassador to the UN Linda Thomas-Greenfield told the 15-member council after the double veto, which she described as disappointing. Though today's vote was a setback, we must not be deceived. It was a rare move by the United States to suggest Security Council action. Washington has traditionally shielded its ally Israel at the world body. 10 members voted for the U.S. text, while the United Arab Emirates voted no and Brazil and Mozambique abstained. The draft does not reflect the world's strongest calls for a ceasefire, an end to the fighting, and it does not help resolve the issue, China's UN Ambassador Zhang Jun told the Council after the vote. At this moment, ceasefire is not just a diplomatic term. It means the life and death of many civilians.
I will now submit to the vote the draft resolution. Those in favour of the draft resolution in document S/2023/970, raise your hand.
En contra.
Against.
Abstenciones.
Abstentions.
El resultado de la votación.
The result of the vote is as follows: 13 votes in favour, 1 against, 1 abstention. The draft resolution has not been approved due to the veto of a permanent member of the Security Council.
The United Arab Emirates is deeply disappointed with the outcome of today's vote. Regrettably, and in the face of untold misery, this Council is unable to demand a humanitarian ceasefire. Let me be clear. Against the backdrop of the Secretary General's grave warnings, the appeals by humanitarian actors, the world's public opinion, this Council grows isolated. It appears untethered from its own founding document.
The shame is not on those calling for a ceasefire in the face of such atrocities. It haunts those refusing to do so. Israel's objective is clear. It is to force people out, and regardless how many times some say it will not happen, everything confirms we were right from day one. This is Netanyahu's war. This is the war of the extremist coalition in power in Israel. No one should get sucked into it any further. Its aim is not security. Its aim is to prevent forever any prospect of Palestinian independence and of peace. These intentions are clear in the Gaza Strip as well as in the West Bank, including East Jerusalem. Show us respect, not in words, but in deeds. Show us respect to our lives, to our rights. This is a moment in history, one where everyone will be asked where they stood, and that will determine who they truly are and what they really stand for.
A ceasefire means that
get aid to Palestinians and allow space for further hostage releases. But we cannot vote in favour of a resolution which does not condemn the atrocities Hamas committed against innocent Israeli civilians on the 7th of October.
We express great disappointment and regret that the draft has been vetoed by the U.S. 2 months of fighting has already caused unprecedented deaths and destruction. An immediate ceasefire is the overriding prerequisite. On this issue, any negative attitude is untenable, and however much justification remains feeble, it needs to be pointed out that condoning the continuation of fighting while claiming to care about the lives and safety of the people in Gaza and the humanitarian needs there is self-contradictory. All this shows once again what double standard is.
Our colleagues from the USA have literally before our eyes issued a death sentence to thousands, if not tens of thousands more civilians in Palestine and Israel, including women and children, and also UN staff that are trying to help them. History will judge Washington's actions. One can speak cynically with nice empty words about democracy, human rights, women, peace and security, rules, order, as much as you like. However, the real value of those we have just witnessed when two members of the Security Council preferred to remain complicit to the merciless Israeli bloodbath. I am saying this not in order to shame our American colleagues. I am confident that the outcome of our vote has resounded painfully in the hearts of ordinary people in the USA and the United Kingdom, whose calls for peace and common sense have gone unheeded by the ruling elites of those countries.